Hi guys, welcome back to this week's video. This week you can see us set up the off-grid electrical system, tile the kitchen and do the last of the plastering. So let's get to it.
That'll be useful. Attach it. It's rack mountable and expandable, so you could attach these like in a server rack, like a 19-inch rack. Fat cables. Ooh. That's a big battery. I want to see the size of the Duracell bunny with this in its backpack. Yeah. First thing is I'm going to put the handles on it. So it's rack mountable. Not so I can actually mount it in a rack at the moment, but so I can actually move it around without killing myself. It is a 100 amp hour battery. Obviously 100 amp hour, that sounds like not that much if you're talking about leisure batteries, but you've got to remember that that's 100 amp hours of 51.2 volts. So like it's as straightforward as you know, how many 12s in a 12 volt system go into 51.2, that many times 100 amp hour battery if you're comparing it to like a leisure battery that you get in a caravan or something. So at the moment I've got a 12 volt 100 amp hour leisure battery in the camper van. So this is what, like 4 times, so it's like kind of like the equivalent to what we can do on a full battery in there, but 4 times, and also this is expandable. So they're about like 600-700 quid each, but you can add up to 6 in a string, run in parallel. So I've not gone for like the all-in-one like kits that you can buy, because I think it's a good idea to know how to put it right. So like building it yourself. So it's notoriously sort of like fiddly and individual, but there's so many components to solar systems and off-grid systems that I want to know every single bit of it well, so I can, you know, be able to quickly identify which parts are faulty and whatnot. So we're buying all the bits separately and putting them together. I did have arrived the same company, Eco-Worthy, their sort of like their mashed up MPPT solar charge controller mixed with an inverter. So it's like fire. So basically you hook up a solar panel with MC4 connectors to this MPPT hybrid controller that also has an inverter built into it, which I'll show you. And then this is just literally your plug-in battery for the system. And then that, because it comes back out the inverter as 230 volts, so you can just run your regular domestic products, electrical products off it. So then the batteries are going to live down here, or possibly in that cupboard, and then the inverter is going to go up here as my main, connected to my main tails to my consuming unit. I'm assuming that unless some are supplied with the inverter, we'll find out now. You've got to buy your own tails. Yes, these, even though it's not part of the kit, these are both from the same company, Eco-Worthy. So I'm assuming if one doesn't, you'd like to think that the other one might have connectors. from a diagram, it looks like a network card for it. Don't think I'll necessarily need that, but keep it somewhere. Yeah, so the short tails here, just for when you want to link up extra batteries, the ones that actually come with the battery, and then you get these bigger tails. I've just taken out that come with the inverter to come out. To go into the inverter actually. To feed it from the battery to the inverter. So there it is. I'm going to leave it visibly so we can be more conscious about the amount of energy that we're using. So that's going to go to there, near to-ish. It's a pretty neat system actually. So you take a front panel off with 2 screws, it sits there, you take that off, and then you can see where you fit. So it's already got like grommets built in. Not grommets, you know what I mean. And then you just terminate them into there, and it's labelled on the other side as well, which is good.
We've got something exciting! Let me show you. What are you going to do, Heidi?
I'm going to put on all of the lights.
No way, are the lights in there?
Yeah.
Can you show me? Whoa, look at that! Is that exciting? Wow.
There's some in here as
Are there
well.
more? Go on then. Whoa, look at that! No way. That's pretty cool. In the bathroom too?
Yeah.
Let's see. Whoa! They look so good. Has Daddy done a good job?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fantastic, Daddy. And thank you, Heidi, for showing us. Wow.
Okay.
This is so cool.
It actually shipped with a 20% battery.
Oh, perfect. How exciting! Hey, so today Heidi's off with extended family for a day out, so I'm going to use the opportunity to plaster the ceiling now that Matt's put the plasterboard up on the ceiling. A bit concerned about how I'm going to get it around the lights, but yeah, we're going to give that a go and then put a second coat of paint in her bedroom and then hopefully get around to tiling. I've watched a couple of videos, so I feel like I can give it a go. We'll try. So yeah, that's the plan. If you can see what I mean, I'm just I think I'm just going to put the tape obviously over here. I'm not going to try and fit plaster in between. And originally I was thinking I could put expanding foam kind of up in the gaps, but I think actually what would be nice is if we repurpose some of the wood lying around and try and make some sort of frames like around the wall and the ceiling, because I think that'll look quite nice and it'll tidy things up. Otherwise it's just going to be a nightmare trying to patch through stuff. So that's what I'm going to do. These are the window frames as well, so I'm thinking this type of wood to frame along the seams really, because I think that will make things look quite nice and uniform really. New plan, the drill bit that I need, the I forgot what it's called now, whatever. The thing that I need to attach to the drill to mix the plaster is in Matt's car, so I can't plaster the ceiling because he's gone to take Heidi to drop her off with family, and so is the tile adhesive and the spacers, so I can't do any of those things until he gets back. So I'm just going to do the second paint in her room. That's just gonna have to be it, and then maybe have a bit of a clear up. So yeah. Okay, so I've done the second coat of paint now everywhere. I've started putting polyfiller up in the gaps, so it's fallen out, but it's fine. I'll file it away once it's dry. I've put the tape directly on the cracks. Turns out the reason the tape wasn't sticking for me before was because I was sticking it onto plaster, but the adhesive side can just stick really well straight onto the plasterboard, so that's on the gaps ready. And plastering we want to do while Heidi's out the way today. And then, very excitingly, got these tiles. These were found just in a box in the barn. In fact, I'll go and show you now. Yeah, so this box here was already left here. And as you can see, it's got lots of tiles in. So I've just taken the tiles from this box. We have got there are some bigger tiles in here. But they're not looking the best, to be honest, and there's not that many of them. So we're going to use these smaller ones and hope for the best. There's a couple that fell when I tried to pick up the box. So, yeah. Okay, so I've just been unscrewing the plug socket slightly, so I'll be able to kind of put the tiles underneath and then we'll fix it back on afterwards. I've also been trying to, obviously, where I put the expanding foam in here, I don't want that to push the tiles out from the wall, so I was just trying to file that down even more so that then our tiles can hopefully sit nice and flat without being pushed up. And oops, also been unscrewing this one here. I'm really hoping that I can, well, I'm going to have to make sure the tile fits flat. Matt, what is the circle in the wall? Do I need to keep it a circle or?
No.
No, okay, great. So
over it.
I'll be tiling over that. I'm going to have to plan. Yeah, it'll have to be just the one tile and then I'll have to cut the tile just around the socket, so that should be fun. I think it's going to be about, I was holding them up, I think we're going to be going up 4 rows, which finishes about here, and then going across, which will be quite nice. So yeah, now I'm going to mix the tile adhesive rather. So it says that it's approximately 1 to 5, so 200 millilitres of water per 1 kilogram of powder. I haven't really got anything to properly mix this out, so I'm just going to do a little bit of water and then try adding this until we get that kind of... I heard one person on YouTube describe it as like a melty ice cream consistency. No, that was for grout. Ignore me. Never mind. Yeah, I'm not really sure. I guess we'll give it a go. Have the check. I really do want to learn from the mistakes that I made with plastering because it's 1 part water to 5 parts tile adhesive. I'm thinking, even though there's only a little bit of water in here, is that still going to be too much for me to work with in time? I think if I fill it up to about here, then that'll be the right ratio. I just don't want to waste too much, but I can't really do it much shallower than that, really, because it just won't mix very well. So we'll try with this. I'll let you know how it goes. Okay, this is my consistency. I feel like it's alright, but I mean, honestly, I don't know, so who knows, man? Is that? Don't know, we're going to give it a go. So apparently you put it on smooth and then you use the bumpy bit of the other tool to go on afterwards to put the grooves in. So we're just going to try that. Need more room. Alright. We're adding the grooves. If you help them stick it better, I guess. Gotta need these, for goodness sake.
We're all going to go all over the place. Okay.
This expanding foam me off.
Where's the expanding phone?
All here, this really sides and tiles that need to
Just start that side of it then, and then we'll worry about that with some then afterwards.
I'll do get these spaces before and then to get the bottom, like, so it just makes them up too high. And I can't get flat.
Don't think you necessarily have to do it with the bottom. Do that, yeah. So that's there. Then spacer in. Check your height. That's one there. Another one in.
The reason I'm getting annoyed is because I didn't care with the plaster because I knew that was going to be shit, but like the tiles just, they need to look right. Like shitty plaster we can deal with, but like tiles falling off or just being wonky like that is just university shit. I'm like, I just can't have that. Like in the videos you watch, man, people just shove the spaces in and they sit no problem. Ours are like too big with massive gaps, so the smallest ones you can get. So like, it's not helping anything.
Completely unrelated to that, are you supposed to butter tiles with tile adhesive even though you put tile adhesive already on the wall?
Absolutely, and that's a pretty common technique. It's called back buttering the tiles. Even if you've already got adhesive on the wall, you often put a thin layer of adhesive on the back of the tile as well. The idea is it helps ensure full coverage and a really good bond, especially for larger tiles or uneven surfaces. So yeah, a little back buttering is definitely recommended.
Right, I'm lost now. Right.
Guys, how satisfying is it that like we haven't had to cut any tiles? The tiles fit on perfectly in that row, so hopefully going to replicate that now in the rows above. Obviously I'll have to cut the tiles around the plug socket. Don't know how I'm going to do that, but yeah, we'll do this side at least. Okay, I need to cut the tiles now, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the tile, draw kind of on it where I need to cut, and then try and cut it. Ideally, I would like to cut the tiles, but I'm not sure how to use this. Obviously, I've got a bucket full of mix just going, so I think actually it might be a mistake, but I might just scrape it off the wall around the plug, around the socket, do all the rest of the tiles, just leave that till last. That's what I'm going to have to do, otherwise I'm just going to end up wasting everything. So that's what we're going to do. So we tried using the tile cutter, and it worked for doing like a nice clean edge here. So that's great. But trying to do the more fiddly pieces, it just wasn't working. So I think we're going to have to get a different tool for these pieces, which is annoying because we're going to be left with like a square around the plug sockets until we get the right tool. But that's fine. None of them have fallen off the wall, so hey ho. So I'm going to mix up, well, I've just mixed up a fresh batch of adhesive. I'm going to start on this wall now and do the bits that I can, and I'll put that one there that we can do. Yeah, let's go. Hi, so nearly finished tiling the wall apart from all the little cutout bits. As can be expected, because we were just using tiles that we found, we ran out at the very last bit here. It's not too bad because we found some bigger tiles and Matt has kindly kind of cut them for me because I just couldn't get to grips with the tile cutter, to be honest. Yeah, so at least we've patched up it, but I'm going to get my handy little saw and start to cut the expanding foam more flush, so that then tomorrow it will probably be now, we can start we can start plastering the ceiling.
You can't get right angles in them. You're using this at least. But you need like
Specialist tool.
Yeah, so I think you just zip them up. Anything that's coming into contact will need to cut in with a right angle. Don't worry about now, we'll do in the future. And so I'll get a stone cutting blade from my circular saw and then go through it slow. I think you've got to put water on it as well at the same time. I think you're supposed to get a hose. I think you're supposed to put a circular saw over it. You're meant to go really lightly and constantly have water dripping all over it.
Okay, we'll look at
That's what they do with big ones anyway, where they need to cut over floors and stuff. So
we'll look at some videos on how to.
I think these are just for cutting off full lengths. Because every single time, there's no way you can do that without.
Could you do a full length because they're quite big? Like, are they wide enough to go across? If you were just
but then the lines will be like there'll be a line there and then a line there.
Yeah.
It'll look fucking awful.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, we'll just wait.
Don't worry. I mean, here's the important bit, and then getting a water seal along there. So I reckon clear up, leave that now. This is probably going to take some work anyway because I need to put a shelf here. So don't worry. You've done good.
I'll clear up and then grab the bits that I can tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and finish filing all of these. No, I won't. I'm going to clean up and then are you able to cook tea while I carry on filing these?
Oh, what do you mean these?
More so just in Heidi's room so I can plasterboard her ceiling tomorrow. I mean, all of it needs doing, yeah. But like,
Let's do it all.
okay, well, I'll wash up, yeah. Time to clean up this mess so we can wash up and then cook.
Got standing water on it.
How we're getting hot water for our washing up and stuff. Lovely. Hi guys, it's another day. I'm going to do the grouting and Matt is going to plaster the ceilings. So yeah. Unfortunately, guys, from this point onwards, it turns out our microphone is broken, which we didn't realise because it's only now that I'm editing 2 weeks later that I can see that all the audio for any clips that we've done from here on out is not working. So that's great. Please enjoy this montage of Matt plastering the ceiling and me grouting the tiles. Here I'm scraping off the tile adhesive around the plug socket just so that in the future when we want to cut out the tiles around this section they're not lifted too far from the wall because otherwise they won't be in line with all the others. And then I'm using the scraper as well to remove the excess tile adhesive from between the cracks in the tiles so that when we put the grout over the top you can't see the grey tile adhesive coming through and also just to make room for the grout as well so that everything looks a lot neater. I'd gotten a little lazy the evening before, so where I'd measured out where the tiles would go up to on the one wall so that I wouldn't end up putting too much tile adhesive that was visible over the tiles, I didn't do that with the second wall. What would have been smart actually would have been to kind of draw out a rough line where the tiles were roughly going to get to and then put some masking tape over the top so that then, you know, any tile adhesive that naturally went over that line could easily be peeled off. But I didn't do that, so this is me scraping it off. Having scraped off most of the tile adhesive that I could, it was now time to give the tiles a clean so that we could do the grout. We were going to be using a white grout, so I wanted to try and get rid of as much of the grey as possible, just so that we didn't have kind of any grey on show over the top of the tiles, as you can see in certain bits. So yeah, let's do it. These are the tiles now that they've been cleaned up. As you can see, they're looking a lot better, so they're ready for grouting now. The excess tile adhesive above the tiles on the wall, I'm not going to worry about too much now that I've got it flat, because we'll be painting over the wall anyway, so no biggie. And that is it for this week's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this week's video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you want to follow our self-build journey, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps us out. That's all for now. See you soon. Bye. Oh my god, it's the grout outdoors.